of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scripture inference to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of our Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritual activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sanga conference call today. Let us move to our next section, which is Srimat Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
हरे कृष्ण वर्धना माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Preeti Mataji, Dhanwas Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Vardhana Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas, Mataji. Wishing everyone happy Dasara, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dhanwas Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Wish you all a happy Dasara, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Prabhuji, Dhanwas Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji. My humble obeisances to you and all assembled devotees. This is Parampavana Devidasi from Baltimore. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Parampavana Shama Mataji, Dhanwas Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna Shishmita Mataji, Dhanwas Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Is anybody else would like to introduce themselves?
Okay, Mataji, I will start the recording then.
Yes, Mataji. Welcome to the Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji. Prabhuji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Srimat Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, Chapter 10, verse number 51. Before diving into the call, I will hand over the call to Parampavana Shama Mataji to give brief introduction of His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji, please take over the call, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for providing me the opportunity to introduce Prabhuji. And today's speaker is His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji. He started his Krishna conscious journey in 2001 and received initiation from his spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, in 2006. Prabhuji completed his Bhakti Vedanta from Bhakti Vedanta Research Center. Some of the services Prabhuji renders are managing a preaching center in Hyderabad, training and educating corporate youth, giving daily sessions on Asa TV and other local channels, and conducting online Bhagavatam sessions for many devotees groups around India. Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji is not joined yet. We'll continue our chant. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamite Namine Namaste Saraswati Devan Vajami Vaseja Swami Vaschatata Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Swarnam Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Join
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Prabhuji
Hare
joined.
Hare
Prabhu.
Ram
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanraj, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimat Bhagavatam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'll hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, and text 51. I'll share the screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirai Nashtaprayesha Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Naishtiki. We are reading from the seventh chapter, seventh canto, 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, text 51. Sa esha Bhagavan Rajan Vyatano Vihatam Yasha Pura Rudrasya Devasya Mayinatmani Mayini. Word to word translation. Sayesha Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Parabrahma, Raja, my dear King. Vetanot, expanded. Vihantam, lost. Vishayaha, reputation. Pura, formerly in the history. Rudrasya, Lord Shiva, the most powerful among the demigods. Devasya, the demigod. Mayena, by the demon named Maya, and the unlimited Mayena, possessing technical knowledge. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti and Prabhu. My dear King Yudhishthir, long ago in the history, a demon known as Maidanava, who was very expert in technical knowledge, reduced the reputation of Lord Shiva. In that situation, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, saved Lord Shiva. Purport. Lord Shiva is known as Mahadev. The most exalted demigod. Lord, this Vishnu Chakravarti says that although Lord Brahma did not know the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva could have known them. This historical incident proves that Lord Shiva derives powers from Lord Krishna, the Parabrahma. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Here we are discussing seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is a very important canto in the terms it is explaining about Lord Nrsimhadev and his pastimes, and after that we have the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj and then the Varnashram system. Here today is a very auspicious day of Dasara. I thought we will speak something on that also. And his Lord is appearing in different forms and is performing various pastimes. We have to today he killed Ravana, and also there are so many rituals that are performed on this day because of Durga Puja and other things also. That we'll discuss some part on that because we have to be little relevant for our today's day also and topic. Of course, in this topic, it is one simple thing. It proves that how Krishna is the supreme and everybody derives energy and strength from Krishna. So that is very clear. All the living entities, even Lord Shiva is also deriving strength from Lord Krishna only. And Durga Devi, she is killing Mahishasur and other demons and whatever she is doing, all the pastimes. She is also deriving strength from Lord Krishna, which is very easy to understand. Even the demons also get strength from the Supreme Lord. Now, I wanted to discuss about today being the festival. Many rituals are performed. Now, we need to know how these rituals, why we have to perform these rituals, whether it is helpful for us or not, about the meaning of rules and restrictions we follow. And now we have to consider whether the compliance with the rules contradict the spontaneous expression of feelings in our heart. Whether the rules are an obstacle to the love. There's an idea that following rules interferes with love. This is the idea people have. Maybe it interferes with the love. But we'll try to understand from where does this culture come from? Where is the aspect of culture coming? And what is the source? If we look around, we will see that there are many different cultures, and some cultures, some is less, some is more, and different people at different times will see many different forms of culture. Now it looks relative, right? Which culture is superior, which is inferior? Now here we have people, they do so many rituals. Nearby we have so many temples around, and the last 9 days we are seeing so many rituals are happening here. And at different parts of the world, different customs, Christian rituals, Christian habits, and it is difficult to choose an objective criteria by which one can judge that one is better than the other. People say hello in different places. We say namaste. We say no. We have haribol also, and they shake hands, and there are different ways of greeting people. Now, how now it looks very relative. It makes no sense to compare one with another. The all comparisons and forms the sphere of material relative, relativism, right? It is relative. From a materialistic point of view, one does not look better that this is. We cannot say this is better than other. It is difficult to claim that some kind is absolute, and it's a relative world. You cannot say the rituals which we are doing, like if you come this culture of Indian Vedic culture, the rituals are quite elaborate rituals are there, and from 9 days rituals are going on, morning evening, and many houses they have different rituals. They and south we have, this is a big festival. Children get at least a dozen holidays, at least 10-12 days they have holidays in this Navaratri. Especially in South India, this is one of the big festival. North it is Diwali, but south it is Dasara. Now from material point of view, one does not look better than the other. It is difficult to claim some kind of absolute. It is a relative sphere. Now you are hearing this. Of course, this Sankranti now is coming also. This is Dasara time. Now, people, they pray to Lord. They have different style of praying to the Lord. And we will not see any reason to, if you understand where it is all coming from, that is very important. What is the source of everything, right? Now, where did all this culture come from? Maybe it will become whatever it is. It is we understand that all the manifestation of cultures, various rituals which are following in different people, in general, everything in this world is a reflection of spiritual world, where it is told, 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, urdhvamulam adashakam ashwattam prahuravye chandamsi yasya varnani yastam vedana vedavid. So it is said that all this uh, material world is a reflection of spiritual world. That means whatever we are seeing here, it's actually a reflection only. That means the original culture is in the spiritual world, and sorry for this. I'm sorry for the sound. Yeah, that is also another fashion. The youth, they want to show that they are riding on a bike. Maybe
It's
that is
okay,
their
Prabhu.
culture.
We are feeling like
But
we
all
are
the
in.
culture, it is coming from the spiritual world. We must understand, in the spiritual world, the culture is absolute, which is the highest form. And now it comes here and it manifests in different forms. The and everything in the world is a reflection of spiritual world only, right? We understand this. And just give me, I'm sorry. Absolute nature is a reflective of the relative world. In the material world, it is distorted, reflected from the spiritual world. It's a distortion. Now, how it is distorted? Because how the reflection comes, the example is given. Krishna tells it's a reflected on the bank of water, a river. So the river is there. Water is the cause of reflection. And what is the water? According to this analogy, water is our desire. So this kama is a distorted that takes the form of material world. Please understand some important things are there. In the material world, accordingly, relativity takes place. Now, because desires are relative in nature, the material world is also relative in nature. First point. Because desires are relative, material world is. Depending on how much original culture of spiritual world is distorted, reflected in the water of desire. Accordingly, we get one or another form of culture. Now, uh, so much. So here, this is important to understand. We are in depending on how much original culture of the spiritual world is distorted, reflected in the water of desire, we get one or another form of culture. So in other words, the starting point is absolute culture. Now, based on the desires what we have, accordingly we create different forms of the desire is distorted. If desire is distorted means what? That means the reflection is distorted, and based on our desires the culture is formed. You are understanding the reason behind culture? It is based on our desires. In the spiritual world, it is the absolute culture. In the material world, the culture is based on the desires. That is very simple. Hope you are understanding what I want to convey. Now, this is the first point to remember. Like now, all cultures that exist can be arranged in certain hierarchical ladder, depending how accurately, how faithfully they reflect the original absolute culture of the spiritual world. How the absolute culture of spiritual world imbibed with spiritual love. This is the second point. Try to remember. It is the spiritual world. The culture is imbibed with spiritual love and is manifested through them in the relative world. Now, Shastra gives us a description of what is absolute culture, the absolute culture of spiritual world. Everything that is contained in the Shastra, all the rules that are in the scriptures, are designed to bring us a person closer to spiritual world. The only purpose of the principles of culture described in Shastra is to bring a person home to God. Everything else which contradicts the essence of scriptures takes a person further from spiritual world. This is a very simple principle. We need to understand the scriptures gives us rule and that bring a person closer to Krishna, the spiritual world. And everything that contradicts the principle of the scriptures moves them away from them. And Krishna tells also that Yashastra vidim vitsijja vartate kamakarataha. Nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukham na param gatim. Krishna is telling that all these the rules and regulations, Yashastra vidim vitsijja. If you reject the shastras and you perform anything, vartate kama karata. We have just done according to our own material desires. Vartate ka nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukham na param gati. We will not be able to attain perfection in this life or after that also. We have to go according to Shastra. And also Krishna tells one more very interesting thing. He tells that all the paths, there is only one path, but they are all there is only one path, that is my path, and all the paths are leading there only. I mean, they have to ultimately lead, and Krishna is saying only one path. And people, they often say that there are many ways and that there is such a way, a different way, and this is way, but Krishna says no, only one way. One can approach this path and one can move away either towards Krishna or away from Krishna. The principles are very clearly given. I will make you understand this very simple. How to know what is the correct culture, what should be done. The principles of Shastra, the rules and restrictions that the scriptures give, are intended to ultimately bring us closer to Krishna. The Acharyas, they distinguish the most important form of these principles. They are from the spiritual world, and that's why they know what is the culture of spiritual world, and they are trying to give it. And Vedic culture brings one closer to Krishna. Everything else is relative. When we say that one is better than other, someone can defend that no, it's a relative world. How can you say this is better than that? This is a relative world. Now I cannot say this is better than this. Everything is relative. For me, this is good. For you, that is good. Very simple. Now for us, no, our culture of little freedom, this, that is better. You know, somebody who is very orthodox people, they say no, somebody are conservative, somebody are liberal. According to them, nothing, we cannot argue. Some will say that this path is better, others say, depending on what someone likes, right? No, but the criteria is what is good, what is bad is ultimately one simple position. What is that? What is bringing us closer to Krishna, or which is removing us away from Krishna. That's all. The spiritual world. Now here the second important point. Now first one I told is based on the desires, the culture is distorted. The spiritual culture is absolute. But now we got desires. Now it is reflecting, the culture is reflecting. How the reflection comes? Because of the water. And water is desire. Based on the desire, how much pure our desire is, that much we have spiritual culture. If my desires are so much distorted, then the culture is also distorted. You understood the point? Like the desire is distorted. Now if I have spiritual desires, then my culture is also spiritual. If I have more and more gross material desires, my culture is also more and more, and it is distorted from what is in the spiritual world. Now, what is spiritual world made of? The spiritual world, the form of living entities, have a manifestation of their love for Krishna. That means the form of a living beings takes in the spiritual world is the personification of his love for Krishna. I love Krishna in a particular way, I get that form. That means that is my love towards Krishna. My form in the spiritual world is my love towards Krishna. Some tree is there. It wants to serve Krishna in the form of a tree. That is its love for Krishna. Some cow is there. The form of cow, it wants to give himself to Krishna, herself to Krishna. That is the form of the cow. Like gopis or gopas. It is, the form is ideally situated to show love. And just like in material world, what is this form? My form. We have received the perfect form of lust. Like my form, what we are seeing is the shape of my mind only, my desires. Like say, if I am like Krishna does, yam yam vapismaram. Like if my mind desires of like a dog, what type of body I'll get? I get a body of a dog. If my desires of like that of a cat or any donkey or tree or bird, that is the shape of my desires, I'm getting that body. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam, right? Similarly, the spiritual world form is love. That is spiritual culture. So here our forms are basically, this is a lust. We stand in front of mirror. This is the shape of my lust. That's why I got this body. That's all. Very simple to understand. To see what form of lust we have, we just have to stand in front of mirror. Any living being who has come to this material world has received a form in accordance with unique quality of desires he has. Each form is ideally designed to show certain desire to exist. We should understand that everything we have in material world has nothing to do the original form. This is only lusty forms only. And that our goal should be to attain that form, which we can show love for Krishna. That form we need. That is the spiritual forms, right? Now, following rules and regulations can arouse love in ourselves. All the rules and restrictions that we follow, no matter how tedious at first glance they may be, are needed only for this, so that the love that already exists in the heart, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabuno Shravanadi Siddhachite Karayuda. It is already is finally awakened, and the conditioned nature which is manifested in lust should cease to prevent us from feeling this love and stop opposing. So this is why we need to do sadhana. Now the simple principle must be understood from the very beginning. We follow all this in order to gain love only. All the rules and regulations. And that which contradicts this, all that denies this, prevents us from gaining from love only. Now what is needed? We need that simple faith. What is that faith? The scriptures and the principles following this path will eventually make me closer to Krishna. If we abandon these principles, the rules that we can invent a lot of different ways, but what is the problem? People have invented their own principles, their own rules and regulations, but ultimately they are very unhappy. They want to be liberated, they want to become free. There is nothing wrong except that it will not lead them Krishna. That is the problem. No, for God's sake, you do what is pleasing to you, but you cannot blame anyone. You are responsible for it. Now, why do we need rules? Why do we need some kinds of external framework? Because we do not have love for Krishna. That's why people say Prabhuji is spontaneous. We want to be a little more spontaneous. We just don't want all these rules. We want to be a little free, spontaneous. But people say, no, it won't work like that. Prabhuji, love means, devotion means from the heart. Now, why so many rules and regulations? We will eventually, but it will help us initially. That is very much very much needed, because we do not have love. Like suddenly, if Krishna comes to our house, we will not know what to do only. He is wearing his Kaustuba jam and Vaijayanti mala and yellow dhoti and deep blue and complexion is standing in front of us. Most of them will be feeling very awkward. One reason why? We don't know what to do with him. Krishna will appear, but if Yashoda Mai is there, for her, she will not any problem. She would have, she would immediately run to him and say, "Oh Krishna, you don't want to eat? Come, I'll feed you." And the cowherd boy says, "Oh, come on, Krishna, chalo, let us go for grazing the cows." For them, there is no problem because they know how to deal with Krishna. We are not able to deal with Krishna. Because in the spiritual world, the body shape of a person in itself says that what a person should do. People there know this, that they don't need to explain. Here in the Society of Krishna Conscious, we are also engaging. We are trying to become familiar with the culture of spiritual world. That's why we should not find faults here. In the spiritual world, nobody find faults. We should not do that. It's very dangerous. We have to be humble, we have to be tolerant, no finding faults, no committing offenses. Very, very careful. That then we'll develop slowly the spiritual culture where we are eligible to enter into spiritual world. We do not know what kind of music Krishna likes. If you put here whatever Hollywood, Bollywood songs, Krishna will not like it. But Krishna will like there is certain songs, so we should play them. The culture in which we participate should teach us what Krishna likes. We learn how to show love for Krishna so that he accepts all things. Although some rules or restrictions that we follow may seem external, but they are important only. Rupa Goswami divides these rules into Mukhya and Gauna Lakshanas. All the rules listed in the Nectar of Devotions are divided into Mukhya and Gauna. There are like 20 most important to follow, and then there are other things which are favorable. We need to follow them also. Why we need to follow? Because the rules relate mainly to the category of Gauna, and it helps us to find love for Krishna. Like they themselves do not directly give a person love, but they will help in finding. Say for example, brushing the teeth. In Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it is described how to brush teeth. It says how many times up horizontal, how many times some details will be there in the shelf. Now it is like, is it very necessary? If you do not brush our teeth, yeah, will not find love for Krishna. Why? Because you cannot go to serve Krishna. Your teeth are your foul smelling. How can you serve Krishna? We need to be clean, neat, and clean. Then only we'll be able to serve Krishna. And that is the point. That if we do not brush our teeth, then this will prevent a person from appearing before Krishna. Therefore, the rules are needed in order to create the conditions in which love of God could be awakened in the heart of a man. Like the rules of Varnashrama. We need not follow all the rules of Varnashrama, but some are very favorable. There are small principles, some rules of which is mainly to their Gauna Bhakti. Like it's not that one need to follow all the rules of brahmacharya to gain love of God. It's not enough, and it's not enough also just by being brahmachari. If we are considering a brahmachari and after cleaning we follow, it's not like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very upset with the milk drinking brahmachari. This brahmachari was just drinking milk. Sivastakar introduces him. He says, this person only drinks milk. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so angry. He said, he shouted so loud. He said, what do you think? Do you think just by drinking milk somebody can attain love of God? And then the brahmachari became very humble. He understood this. I am not, this is not the way to attain love of God. And the point is what? The governor, the rules and regulations will not give us love. But, and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Ramananda Rai, he asked Ramananda, you can tell me, what is the essence of scripture? This is Varnashrama. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yeho Bhakya, this is external. And they're all external things. We just have to do Shravanam, Kirtanam, and directly engage in Bhakti. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very interestingly that if the mind, body, and society do not favor the development of Bhakti, then everything that a person does within the framework of Karma and Jnana will distance him from achieving his goal. And since we still do Karma and Jnana in some way or other, we study something, we act somewhere, then the environment is also not very favorable. If the soul is an unfavorable environment in categories of the society, in the category of body, in the categories of mind, we have to, and even the Mukhya Bhakti, that is action aimed directly in receiving Bhakti, will not bring the result because the soul does not depend, because we depend actually on the environment. Generally, access soul is not dependent, but it is limited. The external conditions, one day or the other, it is affecting us. We have to follow certain rules, like waking up early morning, living in a proper cultural way. Some whichever is prescribed in ISKCON, at least that much we should follow some standards. Like Yavahrit, one son of Bharadwaj Rishi, he saw when sage was getting so much realizations and is respected by everyone because of his realization. He got a desire. He thought, let me also get some good knowledge. So he went and started doing tapasya. He was a very austere person. He was standing on one leg and doing tapasya. Indra comes and asks. He was a little concerned. He said, what if this person will take my post? He's doing so much austerity. He asked, what do you want? He said, I want to gain knowledge. He said, then go to Guru, na? So many are there sages. Why don't you? No. I will find knowledge by austerity only. And at last, Indra has to give him. He gave him the knowledge. And then he goes to his Guru, his father Bharadwaja, and says that I got knowledge. And Bharadwaja Rishi, he becomes very sad. He says, he said that it will not lead you anything good. To use knowledge correctly, a person must have humility. In order to find humility, you must undergo training. He must learn something, find certain culture. He told his son that the knowledge that he received would make him proud, would cause him to die. And this is the point. Here presently, people are getting information. They are not getting realizations. They are not getting. There are three levels. One is you hear, you try to contemplate, and you realize. Three levels will be there. First, we have to understand. In generally, people in this world, they are at the first level only. Most of them, they just hear, gain the information. But second level is very important, contemplation. We all have to come minimum to this level. We have to, then our spiritual life is much more stable, we can say. We have to work on contemplating. Like we say now, who is a brahmachari, you start thinking. We all can, we all have to think first. Like that means we have to contemplate on what we are hearing. Like now we are hearing something. We just have to think about it, whether it makes sense, whether it is true. By like that contemplation, when you start, like what is the qualification to become a brahmachari? This is the first qualification. There are so many other qualities, but the main qualification is you should think. You start thinking. Generally, what happens when we are very small children, everything comes to our plate. Food comes, all the things are taken care by parents. We don't think only how it happens. Once we go out, going college, we earn ourselves, start making, then we start thinking, oh, this is the way to make money and world is like this. Till age 14, 15, there is no thinking. Everything comes on own, everything is taken care, we are peaceful. But the thinking process, that's why children are sent to Gurukul, boys, because they start thinking there, oh, something is important here. Like, then third is what? You realize they are like very strong people. Without thinking, people are hearing, they gain knowledge, that's the end of their life. They only gain knowledge. Hardly after 40s, in the middle age, when the problem comes in their life, they start thinking then. Generally, people start thinking very late. When the things go wrong, then they start thinking. Before that, they don't. But here, this is very important. Third is realize knowledge. People don't bother only about it. But this realization and thinking process, that should be supported by the culture of what? Humility. And no, knowledge should be received in a proper culture. There's certain culture should be there. Then only the thought process comes. Then only realization comes. It does not come with the person is sitting in front of the teacher in the class and making comments on the teacher. And I am also guilty of it. I regret now. I should have done means I should not have done some things which I did. I feel very sad. I think I spoiled some of other children also there. Now I feel sad that no, in the school we could have been more respectful. I could have gained more proper knowledge, at least some thought process, something I would have saved. I did so many mischief activities, but that is because of pride only. We are so proud and we end up in doing mistakes. Mistake means we make comments, just pass on comments. You don't like the teacher, we make a comment. It's not actually correct. The culture is not correct. Now, culture puts a person in certain framework and allows us to find love of God, because neither knowledge of the Vedas in itself, nor penance in itself, nor any other thing can give a person love of God. Please understand. How much knowledge I have, how much penance I did, or any other thing. Even Brahma himself says, second canto, Brahma says, all the Vedas I know, all the knowledge of Vedas. I did maximum austerities. Everybody worships me. Unfortunately, I don't know the Supreme Lord. All the Prajapatis, all the top people of the universe are worshipping Brahma. Brahma says, everybody worships me. I know all the Vedas, because from my mouth all the Vedas come. And I performed austerities. As soon as I was born, I was told to do austerities, I did. But in spite of all this, I don't understand Supreme Lord. That is the point. To develop love of God is something. If it should be framed properly. It should not put in a certain situations. We need appropriate environment. The rules that a person follows are designed to give a favorable frame that should create a background on which love of God is revealed in fullest possible way. Bhakti don't depend on them, but it is favorable. That's why we should do it. If a person does not like, we can do bhakti in Antarctica also. Point is, we need association of devotees. It is not very favorable because you don't get any vegetarian food only there. You don't get vegetarian food. Why to stay in Antarctica to do bhakti? Because it's not a favorable. Bhakti don't depend on it, but we depend on it. That's why we should come in a favorable environment. If a person does not follow the principles of rules, then even if he gains something, including knowledge, all this will do only harm to him. Like there is South India, there is a great Alvar Andal. She is incarnation of Bhumi Devi. She marries Ranganath. And before entering into Ranganath, after her marriage, then she did not start talking about how Ranganath and she had a nice pastimes and how they were dating each other. So she did not say those things. What did she say? She says about how to follow rules and regulations. Are you are having love for Ranganath and you are telling us. So this is the qualification for a person who can be liberated is a desire to follow rules. Sometimes, like people think that's so boring, we, why you can just tell something more esoteric. Why so many rules and regulations? Why so many restrictions? Because this is the point. Every word in Veda is the law of God, and there are some like Karma Mimamsana, they take it literally. They say this is the only thing we should do, just follow whatever the Vedas say. And just in that way, they know that all the desires will be fulfilled. Fulfillment, the law, a person gets the opportunity to find happiness. Like there is Kumarilla Bhatta, is the guru of Mandana Mishra, was defeated by Shankaracharya. So he actually has a story. In this story, he was he is the person actually defeated Buddhism more than Shankaracharya. Before Shankaracharya only, he actually established the Vedas very nicely. Now what happens is these Buddhists, they were having so many very nice. He himself followed very nicely. It is said that he was so pious, he was following the rules so accurately that for few kilometers around him, because of his influence, everybody was feeling so much. They were very prosperous because of his piety. Few kilometers around, wherever is there, all are prosperous and all are experiencing so much happiness because of his practices. And he used to supply virtue to the people around. And he was having this fight with Buddhists, and they were having so many logics in a different ways. Now he wanted to defeat them, but it's very difficult to conquer. Many times it is. Now he thought, okay, in order to defeat, I must learn all their secrets. Then he himself went to the Buddhist monastery, changed his clothes from a Brahmana. He wore Buddhist clothes, remove all this tilak, somehow hide his the Janayu, the Brahmin thread, and started learning. Whenever they used to criticize Vedas, he used to cry. And they were getting doubt. Why are you crying when we are criticizing Vedas? He says, no, I am crying out of love. It's great delight. You are criticizing Vedas and I am feeling delightful. But still they were suspicious. And then they saw, because secretly he was doing all his Sandhya Vandanam and other things, because he is a Pakka person. He was following all this secretly. And they was, my God, this person is cheating. They understood he's something different. Now what happened is, he was like a scientist, very scholarly. Everything he learned. He understood. He already know too much. Then what should we do? We should kill him. Then they decided to push him in a big building. They took him into the above. It was almost like 7 floors or something. They pushed him down. While he was falling from the roof, he chanted a mantra. If I have performed all the Vedic rituals since my whole life from the very beginning, they are pushing me from here, I should not get hurt. And then when he fell, some bruises came on his eye. Remaining body, everything. From 7th floor, he didn't die only. Normally person dies. Nothing happened to him. What happened is he became very angry. He says, what is this? I followed so strictly, and why this happened to me? This means he was quite upset. Then immediately Akashvani came. Voice, my dear, what do you want? Why are you upset? He says, why this happened? He said, because you use, if Vedas are perfect, if Vedas are the pramana, because you use the word if, that means you have some doubt. You should have just said, Vedas are pramana, nothing should happen to me, nothing would happen. If Vedas are pramana, you have used that word, you have shown some doubt, that's why you got it. The essence is that the rules of Vedas are absolute truth only. A person who follows the rules of the Vedas can get everything. The Vedas are manifestation of absolute truth, manifestation of spiritual energy. But not everyone who follows the rules find love of God, because it depends on mercy of devotees. Depending on the consciousness in which it is does, can the rules, just rules will not. It will go to Vaikuntha at the best. Now there are Karma Mimamsa, impersonalist, Gaudiya Sampradaya, so many people are there. And if you see, most of the rules are same only for them. They also read Gayatri, they also follow vegetarianism, they also do like certain rituals. And now we see, but what they achieve different goals, interestingly. They are following. Goal is different. Why? Depending on what a person wants, he will get it. If the consciousness is at the level of Annamaya and is performing these rules, then he will receive the material enjoyment as a reward. If my consciousness is Annamaya, I am following the rules. What is the benefit I get? I get material enjoyment. Now, if like I'll get nice prasadam. Our devotees, if we are at Annamaya level and you are a devotee, and what is the best thing? We will think of when we go to temple, class, kirtan, everything is there, but we are waiting for prasadam. People call, say, Prabhuji, prasadam what time? It means, what is the state of consciousness? Annamaya consciousness. I am not telling it is wrong. I am telling the state of consciousness. Please don't take me wrong. I am just telling what is the state of consciousness. He wants that, he is getting it. So there is nothing wrong, right? Will nothing. Now, depending on the level of consciousness a person, one will achieve their goal. Therefore, in order for the rituals to contribute to awakening of love of Krishna, one must be fortified by the level, and one must remember the goal. He should come up, he should increase his level. Now, it is not enough just to perform these rituals, but when we do sadhana bhakti, we initially do in a mechanical way. I am also one of them. Our consciousness depends on, it should be at the level of what? Anandamaya. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. That is the highest. The ritual still brings something, even if it is not there. When we start doing the main misfortune of the society is that we have very few truly who has reached the love of God. And people know that using this method, they have reached different levels. Now, we don't see many people around us like that. That's the problem for us. We don't find many people. Why? Because the sadhana bhakti, our consciousness is not at Anandamaya level. Like we think, okay, at least I will go to heavenly planets. If we are at the level of Manomaya, we will at least go to heavenly planets. By following your understanding, now initially I told rules and regulations where they are coming from spiritual world. How they are manifested in this material world, it is relative. Then we discussed how you can say it is relative based on your rules, how much it is bringing closer to Krishna. That's the criteria for us. That's why we follow. Then we discussed how that the scriptures they are giving these rules and regulations, and they are very pakka. And we discussed this like by following them, initially we need to follow them because we are in a conditioned nature. As such, it is not needed for law of God, but we need it. The culture is needed, rules are needed. We discussed story of Yavahrit. He just tried to gain knowledge, but without the proper rules and culture, it is only detrimental to him. Brahma says, I know everything, Vedas I know, Tapasya I did, everybody worships. I cannot know now because that is something different only. And then we discussed about Mandan Kumaralabhatta, where he is following the rules like that. So here another point comes is, another important discussion is that when we follow this sadhana bhakti, it engaging in the rules, we according to different levels of consciousness, the rules have effect. So here the point what I am discussing is rules and regulations we are following, the result is proportionate to what the consciousness I have. If I am at Annamaya level, I am following the rules and regulations, what I will get? Sense enjoyment. If at the Pranamaya stage I am following rules and regulations, I will get an emotional level of some relationship, that type of pleasure. So where I am, rules and regulations based on consciousness, the result is there. We cannot say, Array, he is also following rules, he is also following. Both are getting different results. Why? Consciousness is a factor. Now, that is sadhana bhakti. In sadhana bhakti, uh, like people who are following, if their goal is at the level of manomaya, they will go to heaven only. They are not anandamaya. The goal is not anandamaya. They are doing bhakti. Where they will end up? They will end up in heaven. That is the point. Like following certain rules can give a person a lot, but in order to find it, to lead a person to higher goal, you need to remember very clearly, not we should not lose our sight. My goal should be very clear, Anandamay. That should be very clear for us. Now, first of all, a person gains strength. This is if a person follows the principles, he has a spiritual power, Shakti, which others people do not have. Another achievement, like we achieve Viveka Shakti. I told not 3 levels. This also I heard. One is just hearing, you get information. Second, most important is we should contemplate on what we are. We should be able to think. Third is realization part. So, like this ability to Viveka Shakti, ability to distinguish one from another, and to distinguish matter from spirituality, the ability to separate the spiritual aspect of life from material. That Prabhupada says, the meaning of which is that if a person does not follow very strictly rules, then he will not have a clear idea of what is spiritual life. Spiritual life will be mixed with material if you're not following. We can do so many things, but it will not work. The person, hope I am not, you are clear. A person does not understand where the spiritual life, where is the material life. A person has spiritual strength, then the mind develops also. He'll have reasoning power. He gives the ability to distinguish what is right, what is wrong. By following all these rules and regulations, we get all this benefit. A person he will have harmony within himself, harmony with the nature, harmony within the mind. Everything is be like it is a meaningful life. That's why Vedic culture is much more closer. तपो दिव्यम पुत्रकायन सत्वम शुद्धेदस्मात् ब्रह्म सौख्यम तनंतम. The saukya, tapo divya means you follow the rules, brahma saukyam, like that. And it is said that Durvasa Muni, he is the culture should. He says that the keyword here is like um, even if he had he always test people about their culture. like and sometimes he also is sometimes very of course he is a very special personality. He tests the people with their culture. The uncultured person, even if he has knowledge, austerity, something, it will not bring any good to him. The culture should educate a person, should install him a certain value, and the value of self-sacrifice, nobleness, honesty, generosity, service to others. When a person gains these values, then everything that he has will bring him good. If he does not have these values, the person is brought up in this culture, then everything he has will bring evil only to him. Like one person met Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada Swamiji, I have one favorite verse from Bhagavad Gita. It says, Yatechasi tata kuru. Whatever you like, you do it. That is the problem. So they want to do whatever they want. Their definition of bhakti is Anyabilashita Shunyam Jnana Karvana Anatam. Instead of Anukulyena Krishnanushillam, there is Anukulyena Manasanshil. It is according to man. And for this, the prayojana, the goal should be very clear. Then everything will slowly come. It's not a it is not mechanically doing things. Everything should be done. It's not in an autopilot mode. Everything should be done in a proper way. Any questions, comments? Hope it is. Because the purpose is so small. So I I took some topic.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful class. It was really enlightening, Prabhu. The background sound is so good, Prabhu. We felt like we are hearing class from India. So, thank you, Prabhuji. And devotees, anybody have any questions or realization you'd like to share? Please unmute yourself and go ahead with your questions.
If you don't have, I can share some more points. If you don't
Yeah,
have,
sure, Prabhuji. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
if you don't have questions, then I will share some more points. I don't know. Like like Prabhupada, his father, he was having business of some cloth business. That was not main thing for him. He used to every day come for several hours. He used to do perform puja in the night, in the morning also, 4 or 5 hours. Not because he needed something, but because uh, he was paid some salary, not because he's the pujari of deities, not because he was obliged to do. He simply loved. He understood that this is the way he could perfectly express his love for Krishna. This is the ideal to strive for. Otherwise, all the rules and restrictions becomes a burden only. Like there are so many people who want to reject everything. For many years, people follow. After some time, suddenly they reject everything. They say, no, we don't want to do it anymore. The rules become so much burdensome for some people because they don't have taste in it. What is taste in rules and regulations? Because what happened is only one reason, because we did not understand the purpose behind it and we did everything in a mechanical way. That is the point. We have to learn how to do it. Everything should be done in a right consciousness. Otherwise, it is a big burden. Everything that we do, we develop love of God. This is the main responsibility, regardless of other responsibility. With some kind, we need to have feeling. That is a kirtan is very important. Repetition of mantra, we need to repeat with feeling. Kirtans are very helpful of all. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not give what is the main difference. If you see that other sampradayas, this one last point I wanted to share. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving compassion and mercy. Other saintly people, other religion, they also came, the leaders, they came spiritually, they also gave compassion. What is the difference? Now in the name of religion, now people are killing each other. They're showing, we'll show compassion, and then they who are not taking our compassion, they should be killed. Why it happened? Because they didn't get experience. The way they taught is different. They are giving philosophy. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he didn't give philosophy. He gave the experience. South India event, he didn't give much classes. His preaching was only for few selected. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Sauram Bhattacharya, Prakashan Saraswati, Ramanand Rai. Very few people he was teaching. Wherever he went, he was giving them spiritual experience by Kirtan. Immediately people, they came in contact with the divine energy of Krishna and they didn't want to leave it, which is very special with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We also have to give that spiritual experience to people. And then they'll say, yes, this is correct. For us, it will save all of us. Yeah, I think I completed my time.
Sure, Prabhu. Pavni Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. I think next we'll go with Radha Jyoti Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the first name who came before Sankaracharya, can you mention the name again?
Kumarila Bhatta.
Huh?
Kumarila Bhatta.
Prabhuji, one more question is that if I understood correctly, you mentioned repeatedly, but that in the spiritual world, the culture is absolute. That actually the love for Krishna, but the material world, everything is relative, and that based on our desires. The degree of distortion in desire that is away from Krishna, the degree of distortion in culture happens. Is that true, Prabhuji?
Yeah, because the spiritual material world is a reflection of spiritual world. The reflection is happening in water. The water is desire. Now, if the water is not clean, it is more and more contaminated. The reflection is also contaminated. Now, the desire is as good as spiritual world desire. The reflection is very clear. So the culture is also same. You have a desire of spiritual world. You want to always serve Krishna and develop the spiritual desires. That means you will follow the culture of spiritual world. But if my desire is contaminated, more selfish, more greed, more lust, more envy, the water is more and more contaminated. The reflection is also very distorted. So the culture is also distorted.
Prabhuji, can I ask?
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel like I feel that like I'm hungry and I want to have prasadam, but I'm outside and I don't have access to have prasadams, and I eat something by saying Om Namo Vishnu, Om Namo Vishnu, Om Namo Vishnu. So is that like my desire is selfish, or like because I didn't offer that to Krishna?
It is not selfish desire. What happens there is, in that situations, we are having effect on our mind, which is not favorable to Krishna. That's how it is. It is not offense towards Krishna, but what is happening is, because we are conscious of it, at least you are chanting the name of Lord before taking. But what is happening is, every food, three parts it is made. One part of the food goes to your mind, one part goes to your body, one part goes away outside the body. We excrete from the body. The three parts. Anything we are eating, it is directly affecting your the functions of your mind. 1/3. Now, if you are not, every food has some violence. Even vegetables also you have to cut it. There is violence, and there is some sort of energy in every food, the prana. We have to eat food which is alive. Say non-vegetarian, if you take, if an animal is killed, immediately it start getting decomposed. But you take a carrot. or vegetables you take, at least for 1 week they will stay. That means still there is some life in it. But whereas animal, so what happened is the food also has two things. One is prana it has, and second is there is some sort of violence that is involved. We have to overcome that. That's why we offer it to Krishna, so that we don't defile our mind. Our happiness depends on how the vibrations are of the mind are there. Like this scientists, they have found all this, that there are alpha, beta, gamma rays in the mind. The more the vibrations of mind, the more mind is agitated, more unhappy a person is. The calmer the vibrations, the more peaceful a person, more happy he is. The sages of our ancient past, they already told that the mind is a wave function, which they have recently discovered. Now the food we are eating, it is affecting the mind functions. Like say a person in the food, it is the important part of any food is the liquid part, because that gives the taste. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Krishna tells, how do you get taste in the food is because of water only. If you remove the water part of any food, like chapati or bread or anything, you suck out all the water, it's very dry, you cannot eat only. You need that liquid part. And liquid directly affects the mind, 1/3. Like say person drinks alcohol. Why he starts behaving weird after drinking alcohol? His mind is not in control. Why? Because the liquid he drank is affecting his mind. That means the food we are eating is affecting our mind. Now we have to make it calm. Now if you go eat some junk food outside, you have purchased something, you ate it. Now, what will affect is our mind will affect. You will feel agitated, you will feel disturbed, stress, and all these things are because of the food we are eating. That is the reason we have to be very careful with our food intake. Not only food, what we hear, see, and other things, but of all the things, food is the most careful thing we should be. We should be very careful where even if people are looking at the food which we ate, like they display in the shops, all the food items. People look at it, immediately the vibrations of the food changes. And when we eat it, we also get that vibrations. Let's say if a lower animal, a cat or a dog sees the food, we should not eat them. That is what is the standard. Because immediately that food is defiled, contaminated. What is contaminated? Nobody ate it. Contaminated in a subtle level. The prana is contaminated. That is the point. So we should be if the display food we should not take. It's contaminated food for us. And then the food which is uh, stored for long, not good. Canned food, the fast food, not good. We have to, as much as possible, we should be very, very careful. And always when you're traveling, you need always pack something, make some nice whatever variety you like, which can stay for some time. Always keep with you so that you don't end up. At the best, what you can do, even the liquid which is stored, which is the packets, it's tamoguna. You have to open it, put in the glass, then the prana comes into it, then only you can take. You cannot directly take because it is tamoguna. Like that, there should be prana in that. So many things are there in that. We can take a big discussion on it. But the main point, what I want to tell is that it is not sinful. It is not what is sin. Sin is basically the contamination that you get in your mind, which is defiled food. You have to be very careful. But in case you are outside, which is not having onion, garlic in it, you take it, offer it to Krishna, and you accept it. At least some level of sin will be removed. It may not have very grossly reaction per, but still it has effect on mind. It has effect on mind, and the thought will change. Like sometimes if like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chota Haridas, if you remember the past time, Chota Haridas, what did he do? He went to uh, elderly Mataji's house, asked for rice, came and cooked the rice. He didn't do anything wrong, but he got some thought. And then that thought entered where? Into the food. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate it, he said that, you know, who cooked the food? He said, Chota Hardas. He said, you should not come in front of me anymore now. Now, what did he do? Because the consciousness got contaminated. You say, "Arey, but now everybody is doing, they are watching movie and cooking in the hotel. The people who are hearing music and packing and all these things which we go and eat in the restaurant, they are not cooking with proper consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu banned them. Said you cannot take only such food like that. You have to choose. If you are choosing at food, you will be making so much progress in spiritual life very fast. That is the most important part where we have to control. Why Krishna say Annamrita power? If you just read the prasadam prayers only, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing, of all the senses, the tongue is the most ferocious and uncontrolled. And Krishna Bada Dayamay, out of great mercy, Krishna gave this prasadam for us to help us come out of this conditioning very fast. There is no alternative for us. The prasadam directly affects our mind. If we eat only prasadam.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Radha Jyoti Mataji, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, Mataji, pranams to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat pranam to you. Prabhuji, you mentioned about the prasadam. So there is a lot of details that you are mentioning. So could you please give me some reference from where I could get more details about it? And the second question was from your teachings today. So Prabhuji, my question to you is, even though we are not there is no ill intention to criticize someone or to, even to magnify what they have said, out of just respect, there is a high level of comment which is not of my adhikar or my level. So is that also will be considered as an criticism? Because even though there was no ill intention behind it. So that was my question.
Eventually, it will turn into criticism. You may start very innocently, but you are going in a wrong direction. It is not our business. Don't make any comments, don't hear comments, mind our business. We'll be safe.
Yes, Prabhuji. And one more thing you taught us today was about that consciousness level that you were mentioning. And in that you mentioned about the goal. So, Prabhuji, say this question is the goal of a follower is to achieve the love of God. So, which is very, very high level of goal. Then, how come a follower like me will say that this is very high level? So there is then we will see some lower kind of a goal, right? Which will be at least a level of achievables. This will be deviated, or say it is a kind of a distraction. Then how will be fixed on goal? Because goal must be something which is achievable, or at least we should look up to every day. So there is a hurdle, like every day when we see, oh, this is not achievable, then the next level comes, and which which pollutes all the consciousness. So how you will teach on this, Prabhuji, to fix on the goal which is very, very high and pure?
Every day we are hearing Bhagavatam class, 1 hour, 2 hours. We are just fixing our goal, the same goal. We are not changing the goal. Anytime in Bhagavatam class, this is only told to us. We have to go back, come back to God and serve Krishna. Every day, like no, we have this 7 laws, Stephen Covey. He says, write your goal and try to meditate on it every day for a few minutes. That is the way to achieve the goal. And we are doing the same thing here also. We are fixing the goal as going back home, back to Godhead, developing love for Krishna. And every day we are meditating on goal at least 1 to 2 hours. Whenever you are attending class, you are meditating on the goal only. But other things are there which are anarthas, which are obstacles which are also there in us, but that is not the goal for us. They are anarthas. I want to become very rich, or I want to have a OD car, I want to have big mobile or something. They are anarthas for me. It is not a goal. Anarthas are also there, but my goal is very clear. Every day now we heard in 1 hour what we hear, that only. We are always focusing on our goal. Other things are anyway there. Annamaya level is there because I want prasadam now. I'm thinking when the class will end, what I will eat. So prasadam is there anyway. Annamaya level we have, pranamaya level we have, but Anandamaya is the goal is very clear. That will help us to overcome all the lower levels for us. That is the method. We are every day meditating on the goal. Every day, 1 hour, 2 hours, we are meditating. You are attending many class. So all the time when you are hearing the class, that is the meditation we are doing.
Prabhuji, you understood now what my question was. I was saying that yeah, we are meditating. Even I am trying, but it is not achievable goal. No, so if we try to.
If it is not achievable, then why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving it? Why Prabhupada is
Okay,
giving it?
Prabhuji, and the details about the prasadam, do you have any document or some book that you want to refer us? Because you gave so many details, I really wanted to have that because it's better to revise or something
I
to
don't
affirm or
have whatever I heard here, there, I just repeated.
any
I
notes
don't
of
have any.
yours, any book you want to refer.
No, Matish, I don't have any book. This I just heard and I collected. I didn't collect anything. I just remembered whatever she asked, and on the spot, whatever I remembered, I repeated. That's all. It is not even
Okay.
preparation. I just remembered now some points I told. This is now no book. I from here, there, Prabhupada books and some classes from Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj.
Okay, Prabhuji. Eternally grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for giving a lot of instructions, which are very, very valuable for practicing every day. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Shivkumar Prabhu, please go ahead with your question, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Lord Prabhu. Prabhu, one question, Prabhu. You are talking about, you always insist on the Vedic culture and the rules and regulations. I just wanted to know, Prabhu, in theory at least, a Uttamadhikari sees everyone as a devotee, right, Prabhu? Even the one who is completely orthogonal to the Vedic way of life, even an atheist extreme. There can be all mix of people. I'm just curious to know, Prabhu, in theory at least, how does a Uttamadhikari sees everyone as a devotee, irrespective of their um, um, desires and goals and the way of life, Prabhu?
He does not see the external covering of a living entity. He sees a spirit soul. And he sees that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. He is seeing that all the souls have love for Krishna. That only he can see.
Okay.
And because his vision is, he is not seeing the external thing. He is only seeing the soul part. His vision is different. Like he has love. He feels everybody has love. Why he is also like so a person who has love, even in the material world also, if somebody comes, they fall in love. They feel everything is so nice here. They are in a different state of consciousness.
Okay. So, Prabhu, although his life.
No experience.
Yes,
Theoretically,
just theory, Prabhu. Yes. So, Prabhu, completely is overlooking his material activities and actions, is it? He is just seeing the spirit soul and.
He don't see any material activity, like Madhavendra Puri. So he's also devotee. He's a dog also. He's also devotee. You say in Vrindavan, everybody is devotee for him.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Now also we go to Vrindavan. Even if we see Vrajavasis is doing material activity, what we say to them? Vrajavasis, we see engage in material activity also. For us, they are all exalted devotees only.
Yes.
For us also, we practice like that only. For a pure devotee, he will offer obeisances also to them.
Okay. Thank you so much. Great.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pitambar Prabhuji, please go ahead with your questions.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My dandats to you. Prabhu, I loved when you said there are vibrations which affects the food which we take in answer to Vardhana Mataji's question. I've got a couple of questions, Prabhu, there. First is whenever some devotee talks of having pet, say dog or cat or whatever, I tell them that no, just get rid of it. That's not, if a Krishna conscious person should not keep pets, period, should not keep. And sometimes they, they don't like, but there is what my so I want a confirmation from you, Prabhu. Why? Because to have dog in the home, there are furs which are, the dog furs are all over. And then we say that kitchen is the extension of the altar, which is meant by Radharani, Srimati Radharani. And the furs in the kitchen will mean contamination. At the same time, the dog will walk in the kitchen with the dirty legs. He goes out and comes in same way. Or he goes to the altar and even he can look at the food in a hungry way, vibrations. All this food either cooked in that kitchen where dog is walking or dog is looking at it with hungry aptitude gets contaminated. Can we offer this food, Prabhu? Because I tell them, but I just want a confirmation. I strongly said no, just get rid of the pets. It's not for Krishna conscious person. Please confirm, Prabhu, and then I'll ask you second question if permitted.
I want to be politically right. Bro, what happens is instead of telling right or wrong to people, like they already, unless they have very close relation and only if they're ready to follow what you are saying, then only we should tell whether it is right or wrong. Otherwise, what we have to do, we have to tell them to intensify their practice of Krishna consciousness. Once the consciousness level increase, now for you, a dog in the kitchen, you cannot even imagine. For me also, I cannot imagine how dog in the kitchen. Because once you grow in a level of consciousness, you feel uncomfortable having a dog in the house. Now for them, they are not minding it because their level of consciousness is different. Now once they start practicing very intensely, they only feel uncomfortable. No need to tell them. They will only keep them the dog outside only. They will tie. You can have dog in your outside veranda and other things. Will not let it inside. You can have dog because they need some security and other reasons. They can keep dog outside. They will not bring inside because their state of consciousness changed. So it is proportionate to what is the state of consciousness. Accordingly, you will follow the rules. Now, previously, for us, onion garlic was okay, but now the smell from very far also is not okay for us. Even some friends, they are eating and other things in the same room we are eating, and sometime eating juta of friends in the college is okay. And now we cannot even imagine what happened. Arey, you are eating that time. Now what happened now? Consciousness changed. Now it is very irritating. I cannot do it. Like so many things like that, which like now uh, watching certain things on TV or doing certain things which I enjoyed. Now I cannot do it anymore. Why? What happened? Consciousness change. So when consciousness is changing, we automatically get rid of certain things. Now for us, we are okay. Some level of food, okay, you just say Sri Vishnu and take. Now for some exalted devotees, they say no way, I'll fast, but I'll not eat only. There are some brahmacharis I know. If they are not second initiated, they will not eat from their hand only. Even you cook, they will not take. You say only second initiated cook, then only I'll eat. Their standards. Otherwise, they'll eat for 1 week only fruits. I know some only fruits for weeks and weeks. Unless even in their home also they go, the mother is not second initiated, they don't eat. You should be second initiated, then only I'll eat. Means they follow certain standard because their consciousness level is like that. Instead of right or wrong, you just help them to practice their Krishna conscious seriously. They will only give it up. It is not whether we cannot tell people unless they are very close. Like in some cases, I go to some devotees, they are becoming devotees. I see in the altar so many things there. And I know I have good relation and they are having faith on me. Immediately I remove all the photos which they are watching from years and years. I remove everything and keep Radha Krishna only. Say only this, everything should be out. They say, Prabhuji, this from my ancestor, this from here, this from my... No question. Nothing. No, I cannot do in every house. I said this is the standard and this should be like this only. You keep these photos somewhere in the shelf, in the some distance, and they agree also. But I don't tell to everyone. The point is based on relationship, based on consciousness. Now they understood, yes, Prabhuji is right. And I say, whatever reaction, let it come to me. Because I removed from your altar, let reaction come to me. You will not get, don't worry. So then they are okay with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Because my consciousness wouldn't allow me not to speak. So I speak and I say, period. You cannot. That's it. There is no question. But anyways, Prabhu, that was one confirm. Is it okay if I can ask you second question or
I'm okay. Organizers,
organizers, admins?
Yeah, Prabhuji, you can go ahead, Prabhu. That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Prabhu, I loved when you said to that Parambhamani Mataji's question, the vibrations part of it. I really believe in it. And it is very, very true that the subtle vibrations are subtle, right? Even if somebody puts the sight on the food, and if that their consciousness is not Krishna consciousness, then for sure we are going to get that vibration. That's why we discourage to take the restaurant foods, because everybody looks at it, and even the cook, maybe he has a quarrel with his wife and he comes back and he's still in the angry mood while cooking food, whatever. So Prabhu, I want you to expand on that, because I love to hear more about these vibrations thing. I firmly believe, but I love, so please, if you can expand on the vibrations part of it, Prabhu.
I'll just add 2-3 more points because it is a different subject. But basically, what happens is any the previous ages, even in our families, we are in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya and all. You cannot allow anybody when you are eating. And previously, the Brahmanas used to cover themselves before eating. They said, no, nobody should look when I'm eating. And now also, when you call a Brahmana to home, you have to keep the door closed. Only you should, whoever is serving, you should go there. And nobody, even Prabhupada also, if you see, many of time he used to face the wall.
Yes.
And sit and take prasadam.
We have seen many pictures like that, yeah.
Yeah, why? Because no, it should not, nobody should see. It should be, it's an offering. Like they use prana, pana, udana, samana, and they say it's an offering, it's an yajna that is happening. So the vibrations are very, very subtle thing that directly affects our mind part,
consciousness
part. And when we are offering to Krishna, what is changing in it? What is changing in it? It's a food. You say, before also it was rice dal, now also it is rice dal. It didn't change anything. But what changed is the vibrations have changed. The conscious, the subtle part is changed. What is the subtle part? Subtle is vibrations. It is gross means it is less vibrations. So solid also has, the earth also has vibrations, but it's very gross. There are much more subtler vibrations. It has an effect. And that's why ahara shuddha, sattva shuddhi. When ahara is shuddha, immediately your existence becomes sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddha dhruva smriti. Your memory becomes very dhruva, stiff. And that is the most important part for us. We should have proper memory. Now, whatever we are hearing, we should be remembering that. That is dhruva smriti. Smritir lamdva sarva grandhi vimokshada. Once you get that intelligence, all your knots, that means the karma, sarva grandhi vipramokshada. You will be free from karma. And that is the formula we need to know. Yeah, it has effect, and we have things to understand.
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you so much. Because everything starts with the thoughts, right, Prabhu, in Krishna consciousness. And then you were explaining in the answer earlier that this mind will get immediate effect, and the thoughts are all from the mind. So we need to be very careful. But thank you so much, Prabhu. I loved when you say even your earlier answers and your explanation. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for a beautiful question, Prabhuji. Raji Prabhu, I think you raised the hand, and do you want to ask the question, Prabhu? Raji Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Prabhuji, my question was on to the three mode of material nature and the Maya. Both plays an important role, but how they are connected and how they affect our consciousness.
The three modes are energy of Maya only, Prabhu.
three modes are?
Energy of Maya. Maya's
So when,
energy.
so when we say that we are affected with Maya, you were saying that through that Maya, the three modes are getting affected.
Like Prabhuji, like now Dasra is there. We do Ayudha Puja in India. You worship your vehicle, you worship your instruments, you worship everything. Actually, we should worship our laptop and mobiles also in part of Ayudha Puja. Now, what is there is an object, there is energy in the object. That energy is Maya. I have object, but we need to have energy also. Na? Like mobile is there, but it should be charged also. For every now axe is there, but axe has an energy in it, which we worship it. All the instrument as worship. Ayudha Puja now. Why Ayudas are worship? What is the energy part in that is worship. So all the things are manifestation of Durga Devi only in that way. She is giving that energy for all the things around us. They are functioning because of Durga's energy. She is the one who is activated.
Got it, Prabhu. Thanks. Only one more question. When we say that we should be above the all these three mode of material nature, how should we understand that aspect?
We have to go beyond the modes. We are affected by the modes. Our mind is affected by all the modes. Rajoguna, Sattuguna, Tamoguna. Now it is becoming night here. Now Tamoguna will affect us. We want to sleep. Morning we are in Sattuguna. Daytime we are into act. It is Rajoguna. So modes are affecting us all the time. We want to go beyond this, not to get affected by it. That's why Mancha Abhyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samitaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. When we do Abhyavichari Bhakti, very pure devotion, we can transcend the modes. That's the point.
So when we are deep into a devotion, these material nature doesn't affect at all. That's what is going beyond the three mode of material nature. Is that so, Prabhu?
It will not affect our mind first, then it will not affect the body also. Like somebody is completely absorbed in the chanting of holy name, Kirtan and Bhagavatam, his mind is no more getting affected by modes. He is transcending the modes in that way. The more we are getting absorbed in devotion, more you are getting absorbed in your chanting and devotional activities, more you are transcending the modes. That means, like now, see, sometimes we want to do service, sometimes we don't want to do, sometimes we want to hear, sometimes we don't want to hear. Chanting, it is boring, sometimes it excited. Why it is happening? That is because of modes in the mind. But slowly we can transcend. No matter we constantly do, one day you cross it. That means there is no question of liking or not liking. You will automatically get attracted to it, and you continuously doing it. That means modes are not affecting you. Like you come to a stage of Nishtha. Nishtha means modes are not affecting so much. You are just fixed up. You will do it at any way. Either it is morning, night, day, health is good, health is not bad. In your family situations, good, relationship are bad, good. It will not affect your devotion. That is Nishtha. That means you are transcending the modes slowly at the level of mind and buddhi.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Radha Jyoti Mataji, I see your question in chat. Do you want to ask Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Prabhuji, you mentioned about the vibrations, isn't it? So, Prabhuji, my question to you is, so for how long? Because I have seen that we store prasadam, say if it is a dry stuff, we store it. So then my question was, for how long the vibration will stay? So, and the another question is, I also saw the Mahaprasadam that they offer, that they gave us, that is also is displayed with the price tag. So we see that number of devotees see that. So what happens to the vibrations when we see? That was these two questions. Could you please teach on this?
Prasadam is different. Prasadam will not have effect because it is transcendental. It will not have effect at the level of manas, but it will have effect on the bodily level. If you take rotten food or anything, it will affect our body. It will, if like say prasadam is like not very good, like it got spoiled, and when we eat, it will affect the body. But mind may not get contaminated because this is transcendental. Uh, Prasadam is always transcendental. It is beyond the rules. But our body is conditioned, so we have to be very careful what we are eating. Oh, prasadam, okay, if it is in the display also, but it is prasadam, so not a problem.
So once it's a prasadam for
Yeah,
forever.
sorry. But thing is, we should be careful health-wise, because if it is stored for a long time and we are eating, it may damage the health.
So even it goes the same with the liquid that you were teaching today, that the liquid content gives the taste. So even if the food is, say if I made some liquid stuff, say some dal, and I offered to the Lord, and if it gets spoiled, so what next? If I gave it, I just exposed to the universe, this nature, then still it is a prasadam. The ants, the insects that they ate, they will also get benefited.
Yeah. Mahaprasad never goes waste. Microbes they will eat and they will get benefited. They will get human birth.
This is very new, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for enlightening us today. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, do you have some time, Prabhu? There is one more question in the chat. Yeah, Hemangi Mataji is paying obeisances to you, and she is asking a question: how to develop consistent habit of contemplations? Mostly, I hear the class and then don't get the time to contemplate.
We should have discussions, then we'll contemplate. You should have some devotees whom we are discussing, or in the class also, like now devotees are asking. That is also a sort of like we are all discussing now. This is also will help. Even if you are not able to think, you attend where discussions are happening, that will help. Sometimes we may not have that ability to think, but others are thinking and they are able to ask questions. That will also help us, not a problem. Just hear attentively and everything will be sufficient. Separately, if you are not able to do, not a problem.
Hemangi Mataji, do you want to ask anything, Mataji?
No, Mataji, thank you so much, Prabhuji. That's very helpful. I always find this very challenging. I listen to the classes and then I hear about this smaranam and contemplation, but that doesn't always come. But this is helpful.
You hear others' discussion, you participate in their discussions. Now we had so much discussions. This will also help you, not an issue. Only thing you should attentively hear what is discussed. That will.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful question and answer section. Devotees, anybody have any questions they want to ask for Prabhuji? Yeah, Ashkar Prabhu, please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat pranams. Prabhuji, how does the concept of Agyat Sukriti works? And also, like, if I offended someone in the past, before even coming to Krishna consciousness, and then maybe later they become a very serious practitioner, then how do I know that I am getting the reaction? Like maybe they can become a devotee after a couple of lifetimes as well. So how does that work?
If we are we are not enviously done something wrong to anybody, will not have reaction. Like say sometime somebody did something wrong in the road or the shopping and you became upset. He did, why are you doing like that? You shouted, or sometimes they are cheating and you shouted on them. We are not doing out of envy, you will not have any problem. But like say in case of Suruchi, she offended Dhruv Maharaj out of envy. He was not devotee then. Later on, he became a devotee. Then she got affected by it because she was envious. If you are not envious of anyone, then you will not get reaction. It was just you are upset and angry, and it's just some simple reaction. Somebody will be upset with you, and you will go. It will not cause offense. Offense is when there is envy in the heart. It becomes offense. That's how it works. You might have offended so many, means we committed so many things, and that's why every day we chant Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya. Unknowingly, knowingly we have committed. In the previous life we have done, Krishna will forgive. Don't worry, Krishna is more merciful than what we can imagine also. In that way, you will not get much affected by what you have done previous life. In this life, make sure that we don't become envious of anyone. And if you are not envious, no offense, not a problem. And don't worry about what you have done in previous lives.
Prabhuji, other than glorifying the person whom we are envy at, is there any other remedy?
If we are in, don't just, you need not glorify, you just keep distance and don't try to become, there is envy. That's why we are in this middle world. It should not grossly come out. That means you should not speak about them negative to others. You should not hear negative about them from others. We feel very happy. Oh, this fellow, I am envious of him. And somebody comes and tells negative about him, I am very happy to hear. Or I am trying to take pleasure in speaking about his negative. If you don't do that, things not a problem. If you, I may be envious, but don't make it come out. Don't think about it, don't make it come out, then not a problem. It will eventually evaporate.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I will try. Hare Krishna.
Asked about Ajnat Sukriti also, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It is our accumulation, like I have done something for the pleasure of Lord, for the pleasure of devotees, not expecting anything in return. That causes sukriti. That is causing an impression in us, a very very positive impression. What is that impression? Basically is a selfless desire to serve. That is the desire which we need to go to spiritual world. Now generally what is the tendency? Now we always do things for ourselves only. Bhakti is when we do things for the pleasure of somebody else. Then only we can say I am doing proper bhakti. I have to do live for others only, either for my guru or for my spiritual master or Vaishnavas and Krishna. Any activity I do, I am doing for pleasure of somebody else. That tendency is what is to be manifested. And somebody does for a great Vaishnava, immediately Krishna will be very pleased. He will increase his credit, and he will help make him come towards himself and give that faith. Yes, this is what I should do in life. You will start getting some taste in it, which is what is faith for us. Like say now I am I have a tendency selfishness, but somehow devotees came, I felt, oh, they are very nice people, let me do something for them. So Krishna immediately gives a taste. Yes, yes, this is what you should do. And that will develop faith in us. Yes, that is pure devotional faith. I don't want to do anything other than this. That is what is most important for a living entity. For us, bhakti means now also know how much we do. Most of the times we are doing for ourselves only. I am hearing class because I like it. I should do because my guru want me to do it. I want to please my guru. That's why I chant. When I am chanting, I want to give pleasure to Krishna. I want to give pleasure to my spiritual master. We have to live for others. That is the difference between karma and bhakti. In karma, you do everything and you offer it. But in bhakti, we don't offer anything. We only do for them. I do only for other person. Where is the question of offering? I am only doing for them. There is no question of like bank cashier is counting. He is counting for the bank only, nothing for him. Similarly, we do for them. Here, when we say Ajnana Sukriti, when you start doing for Krishna or Vaishnavas without expecting anything, Krishna start giving you some sort of taste. That will bring us that faith. Yes, I want this only in life, nothing else. I want only Krishna. Nadhanam, Najanam, Nasundaram, only Krishna. Like that. So that's how Krishna is very merciful to somebody. We want to make somebody devotees, give them Sukriti.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very clearly and wonderfully explained. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think there are no more questions, Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees. Yeah, there is no more questions, Prabhu. Thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhuji. It was very so valuable.
One,
Jai Jai Prabhuji.
one chocolate.
उत्तरप्रियस्य
Vancha
कृपासिन्धुभ्यो पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
Vanebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
कोटि
Namah.
वैष्णव वृंद की
वैष्णव
जय
की
श्रील
जय, श्रील
प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्
Jai.
भागवतम की जय,
Jai.
His
ताई
Grace
गौर
Radha
प्रेमानंद
Pramod Prabhuji
हरि
की
बोल,
जय
Jai.
हरि
Radhe
बोल,
Radhe.
जय
Gauranga.
हरे
Radhe
कृष्ण
Radhe. Nityananda. Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe.
Hari Bol.
हरि बोल
Radhe
Hari
Radhe.
कृष्ण,
Bol.
to all of you.
Radhe
थैंक
Radhe.
यू
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you so much,
Hari
Prabhu.
Hari Hari
हरे
Bol.
कृष्ण सिंधु
Radhe
राय माता
Radhe.
जी हरे कृष्ण सिंधु राय माता जी
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, please can you message me your phone number? I want to talk